Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Mondays with Mori with me, Mori Elvington. If this is the first time you're watching me live, welcome to my world. I help you step out of trauma and reclaim your power. Today, I'm going to share with you a story where I really had to step into my own personal power and not let my emotions and my feelings step in the way because my son really needed me. If you are right now experiencing a time in your life where you feel like you are being called to serve for a higher purpose, this conversation is for you. If you're a mom and you have children and you feel like you're not always on your A game and you want to support them, this is a conversation for you. If you are listening and you know a mom or you're inspiring to be a mom and sometimes you're struggling to stay in your power, this conversation is for you. So I'm going to share with you the story of what happened. And if you can just kind of take a deep breath before we dive into this and connect to your body and really feel how this story activates you in your body, you might notice parts and pieces of you that are triggered or are drawn in. And if this is so, then this story is for you. It's here to awaken you and awaken parts in you that are maybe keeping you stuck. So I'm going to clear my voice. So last week, I signed my son up for football practice. Now, he is 6 and he hasn't been yet in like a big kind of sport event or any kind of elective really. And so he was really excited for this. He really wanted it. It's a camp. It's like a 5-day thing where he goes for 2 hours a day and he learns the different fundamentals, meeting other children, his age, and he was very excited and very nervous. And so the first day we get there and we're approaching the field and I feel his energy. He's very timid but excited. He doesn't really know what's going on, but he's also really eager to see. And we get to the field and apparently it's a camp for all the leagues. So there's kids there, boys mainly, from kindergarten all the way until 12th grade. And it's very intimidating. They're all on the field playing with these balls, throwing them everywhere. There's a lot of commotion. The energy is high. You can tell some of them know each other because they've played on the league. So there's this sense of like fun and community. And I could see on his little being, you know, how he's like shrinking down a little bit, not feeling as confident, not feeling in his power. And I'm going to pause and I want to invite you to think about situations like this where you feel like you don't belong, feel like you're in the wrong room or you don't know what people are talking about. And how does that feel for you? Okay, so if I'm talking about this, it's bringing this up for you. It's because there's something here for you. So stay tuned. So I sign him up, get him registered. I'm looking around to see if there's any other little kids his age. I know there's a kindergarten league, so I know there's supposed to be somebody his age there. And I spot a few of them. And the coach is like, okay, just take a ball, go on the field and start playing. We're going to start in 10 minutes. Okay, so he goes on the field and he joins. And I see him like shyly walking on the field and shyly looking at the different people and the different children. And there's a lot of commotion and energy going on. They're throwing balls at each other and catching and this whole thing. And so he joins this like circle and they start throwing balls to each other. And he gets the ball, but he catches it wrong and he gets really hurt on his fingers and his arm. And he walks off crying, because he's hurt at this point, and he comes to me. So of course I go up to him and I'm like, what's going on? What happened? I got hurt and I don't want to do this again. Now my son, he's very stubborn. If he decides something, it's a no. But I knew at that moment in time inside of me that there's no way I'm letting him get off this field before he even started. And so now we're sitting on the sidelines. There's turf and we're sitting on the turf. It's a very hot day. It's hot. It was like 100 degrees this day, maybe 90, 95. And it's hot. we're in the sun, we're on the turf, he's crying, he's unhappy, and all the feelings are coming up for me about being a mom, right? Everything that's coming up for me about what the role that I need to play. And so I'm sitting with him and I'm explaining to him, I'm like, buddy, the game hasn't even started. You haven't even started a camp. This was just like just playing with a ball. You haven't learned anything yet. You haven't given it a chance. You can't quit without giving it a chance first. And he was like, nope, I'm not getting out, never touching a football. I'm really hurt right now. And I had to sit there and dig deep and bring up all my wisdom and all my stories and all my knowledge. And this was a 2-hour thing. And I said to him, we're going to sit here for 2 hours and we're going to go. And if you don't give it a chance, we're going to have to come back tomorrow and you're going to try again. Because I'm not going to let you walk out on something you haven't even tried. And as I'm sitting there and I'm telling him about his courage, and I'm telling him stories about how I had to be strong, and sharing stories from his siblings, how they did the same thing. As I was sitting there and going through all of that, I was also going through my own emotions, right? As a mom, I got frustrated. My fears came up. What if he's a quitter? Like all the things in my head that came up about, what if he doesn't try this again? What if he's not going to go up the field? Anger came inside of me. I had to step back. I said to him, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, because I felt like I was getting really angry and frustrated with him. I felt like nothing was getting through. Nothing was going in, and he wasn't accepting any of my guidance. And I was feeling really frustrated. And so at that point, I was like, okay, the last thing I need is to explode on him or to yell at him or to make him feel bad in any way. So I had to excuse myself. I had to go, behind the bleachers and do my anger process that I do to release the anger in my body and the tension in my body, and came back a lot more collective, a lot more cool, a lot more in my power, where I was able to hold him in the system and to hold his fear and to acknowledge it and to validate it, and to also say, hey, we're not going to walk away from here without you trying. And so what happened was he ended up going on the field and he played a little bit. And then there was a part where they were tossing balls, so he came back down. So just when I was like, win, he comes back. And I was like, okay, this happens too. Yeah, we take a chance. We try it a little bit. We come back. We contemplate it. This is part of life. And so I acknowledge the fact that he took the courage and he stepped up on the field. And he took the chance. And he did a few things. And he tried it. And he came back. And as I was sitting there and I'm watching him and I'm observing myself, I noticed this. As adults, we don't have that 1% in our life to push us no matter what. So many times we give up before we even start. Or we start and then we do it a little bit and we give up. And that's why coaching and healing and having somebody in your corner is so important. Because so many of us, even though we have all the good intentions and we're so excited, and the slightest pain point, the slightest fear, we back out, or we don't even try. We don't even give it a chance. We don't even let ourselves actually fail. We leave before we even have a chance to fail. We leave before we even have a chance to get hurt. But then we're also leaving the triumph on the field. We also miss out on the opportunities and the magic and the miracles that might show up if you took a chance. If you actually tried, if you actually dove in and said, I'm all in. I'm in for this. This is the ride of my life. And if I fail, I fail. But if I succeed, what amazing things are going to show up for me in this lifetime. We give up way before we even give it a chance. So I invite you at this moment, at this time, to ask yourself, when are you giving up? Before you even gave it a chance, what are you giving up on? What are you letting go of before you even try it? Maybe it's an idea that keeps circling in your head. Maybe it's a relationship that you don't feel is working for you. Maybe it's a job that is just keeping you stuck. What is it for you that you just give up before you even try? Maybe it's a job interview you don't even think of attempting. Maybe it's an online business that you don't even think of attempting. What is it for you that you are so afraid to try that you just decide not to do it at all? So as we walked to the car, after sitting in the sun for 2 hours and not really doing it, he said to me, I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'll try again. And that to me was the win. And when tomorrow came, he said to me, I'm not going again. And I said to myself, I can't do this again. I'm not going to do this again. So we had a quick conversation. I reminded him, we do not quit before we even try. And normally you would try 3 times before you quit something, because how do you know if you really like it, if you really enjoy it, if this is something that's really for you, if you don't give it a chance? And so he went on the field and he had a great time. And he asked me to go back and to finish the camp. And that was a huge success for me and for him. And I was really proud of myself because I was able to really go through my own emotions as I was coaching him, whatever was triggering for me, whatever childhood memories came for me. Anytime I quit or I didn't give up, and then what happened, right? My emotions that I had to go through the whole rainbow of emotions in the 2 hours in the heat trying to convince him to go on the field. I was so grateful for the tools that I have, for the processes that I was able to run on myself to stay present for him. And I realized one more thing. Being a mom, the biggest job that we have is to raise these children to thrive in this reality. And we are battling so much in this reality as parents, as moms, that if we have our own trauma, everything that we're dealing with is triggered and amplified. If we don't have the example of what it means to lead our children, to actually lead them into this reality, into this world that we're in right now, because God knows it is a crazy world out there right now, and we're dealing with a lot. Screens and toxins and foods and what's right to do and what's wrong to do. But our biggest job is really to able to lead our children into this world, to raise them, to have the tools, to have the abilities to manage these emotions, when all we want to do is avoid feeling them. And if you're constantly trying to avoid the feelings, the emotions that are coming up for you while you're dealing with your kids, you immediately go to anger, you immediately go to frustration, because you don't want to feel the pain. You don't want to feel the shame. You don't want to feel the blame. You rather tuck it in, but then you're triggered. If you don't have the tools to heal and deal with your own stuff, you're going to end up taking it on your children, and you will not break the cycle of abuse. So, I invite you now, after this conversation, to step back a moment and take some time in your day to reflect on what triggers you when it comes to your children. What trauma of yours or experience of yours from the past is affecting how you parent, how you mother. And also reflect on what you would like to be, how you would like to be, what is missing for you. One of the most amazing things I've created in my business is called Pocket Therapy, where I put all these really short body processes that you could do on your own with headphones to really help you calibrate to those high intensive moments in your life where you're feeling stuck, where you're feeling like you don't have the tools and you don't know what to do. I have body processes there for anger, frustration, anxiety, insomnia. They're really short, so you can pop your headphones in, say you're going to the bathroom, do the body process, come back aligned in your power. You don't have to let the triggers trigger you anymore if you choose not to. But this is one of the most amazing things I've created. It is so powerful, and it's tools that I use on a regular basis with my children, with my husband, in my businesses, to remind myself that I can't let these emotions take over me. I can't let these emotions run the show. I'm the one in power. Not my past, not my trauma, not my triggers. I'm the person in trauma. I'm responsible. I choose how I interact. I choose how I talk. I choose how I respond. It's up to me. And only this way I will also lead my children to be in their power, to take responsibility for their actions, and to not give up. So I hope for you that today you make a stance with yourself. What are you not giving up on anymore? Maybe it's your sanity. Maybe it's your power. What are you not giving into anymore? Maybe it's your fear. Maybe it's your triggers. What are you willing to take responsibility for now so you can create a bigger, better, brighter future for you, for your children, and for the world? If this was a contribution for you, please share this, because the more of us can be in our power and less allow the trauma, the triggers to sway us back and forth, the more of us can step in our power. Only this way we will change the reality that we're facing. There's so much anger on this planet. What if you could be the beginning, the change, the shift for so many others? When we do this work, we affect everyone around us. You can be that change for you and for your children. So if this was a contribution, please share. If you want to know more about pocket therapy, just leave me a comment, pocket therapy. I'll send you a link. This is only $99. You'll have it for life. It's literally a lifesaver in situations where you need support and you do not know where to get it, how to reach. Okay? So I am here for you. If you need even deeper support, you want to learn more about what my one-on-one coaching, just comment one-on-one coaching. I will gladly reach out to you and help you. I would also love to hear from you if this was a contribution for you, and where it is in your life and what it is that you're willing to put down now in order to create a better future for you and your family. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.